Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Natter. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again at a slightly later time than normal because we've just had our company VIP event. Normally it would be a massive party somewhere, but this time it was on Zoom and we actually had a mixologist helping us to make cocktails. So it's been a very, very fun evening. For those of you that haven't listened in before, what I do on Nats Natter each week is I will natter to people from the same industry as me. So I'm in the network marketing industry and have been for 15 years. And we'll talk about what brought them to the company, what skills that they need, and a lot of different professions that have joined us. And then every other week, I talk to a small business owner or a business owner that's had to change since the pandemic and how they have literally made those changes and flourished as a result. I used to have my own business, so I've done various things from having a speed dating company to working for as an account manager in a marketing agency for House of Fraser, and then found myself in network marketing, having been made redundant. I actually got introduced through my mum. Mum had been in the industry for a good 10 years before she finally got me to see how it would work for me. And what made me see it in the end was having been made redundant, started my family. I had 2 children and I just wanted to earn a little bit of extra money to do the nice things with them. I never, ever imagined I would create the income that I have, the team that I've had all around the world. So it literally started very, very small and it's just built and built and built. So while you're listening in, if you're listening in live, please feel free to comment, ask us questions. We would totally love to hear from you. And also, if you are a small business owner and would like to be featured, then please get in touch because, I'm looking for people that want to share their experience. There's so many companies that have grown since the pandemic. So without further ado, tonight I'm talking to teachers. So I work with all different kinds of people, all different kinds of careers, all different kinds of mums at home. But tonight there's one common denominator between these 3 people, and they all are either in teaching still or have been in teaching in the past. Now, something I've had to learn doing network marketing is to be a teacher, to help my team, to coach my team, to do exactly what I've done. Whereas, teachers have got those skills already. So let me just introduce these 3 wonderful ladies. So we have got the amazing Emma Crocker, who is actually Will and Rosie's teacher. So Will and Rosie are my teenagers. They actually introduced Emma to the business because they saw her using one of our products and said, you know what, my mum does that. The kids are totally proud of the industry. We've then got the amazing Katy Buxton. So Katy is actually in my sister's team. Now she was a teacher, but is now a full-time business owner with Forever. So she's left her career completely, whereas Emma works part-time as a teacher and does this alongside. And then we've got the amazing Laura, who's over in Wales. And Laura left teaching. She's got her own business in events and then runs this alongside as another string to her bow. So ladies, say hi to everyone. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hi.
We'll go clockwise on my screen. So Emma, what made you look at Forever? You came through the products, didn't you?
Go on, I keep talking when you are now.
Go, you came through the products. Tell us.
I did a C9 and I really felt amazing from doing it and decided that I wanted to carry on with the gels. And then that's when I actually saw Will, and Will said, oh, Mum does that. Yeah, Mum does do that. So then I got in touch with you and that's where it all started. And I did it initially as a little bit of a pocket money, a bit of a side hustle to the teaching.
Well, you were a customer, weren't you? And I said to you, you're using these products, you're loving them. You might as well get a discount on them because you're referring it to your friends anyway, which is benefiting me. So you might as well get that for yourself. And I remember having a gin and tonic in my courtyard.
I do too.
showing you the business. And well, what has it given to you since around your teaching?
Do you know what? Initially, I was thinking about this, and it was purely for the discount and to earn a little bit of pocket money. But the biggest thing that I have got from this is community, and it is self-confidence. And yeah, it's lovely to have that bit of money that I can say the kid when we go on holiday, and the kids go, the kids go, can I have 2 scoops of ice cream? And I'm like, yeah, have 3. That is an absolute pleasure. But take that away, what this has given me is a community and a friendship. There is, and praise. Like being a teacher, I love it, but you don't feel valued all the time. You don't get a pat on the back, and Forever gives me that.
So you get in the community, which particularly, we're talking at the time of a pandemic when, you've been working from home like so many teachers, and we're so grateful to people like you, but being part of that online community and having, I guess, those conversations with people and someone giving you a big cheer when you need it, which is very much about this industry. So Laura, if I can just ask you, because you build a business within Forever, you've also got an events company. So how did you find the company?
Mine's a bit of a different story. So I was on maternity leave from teaching, and then there was all talks in school of redundancies. Now, I used to teach drama and English in a secondary school. Drama's always the first to go, unfortunately, when it comes to redundancies, because it's not a part of the curriculum, it's not compulsory. So when all this was going on, I knew it was going to be me, or I was going to be one of them to go. And then a friend was using the products, she was raving about them, raving about the business. So I thought, I'll take a look just in case. And lo and behold, I was made redundant. So it seemed to all happen at the perfect time for me. I was always doing the events, the wedding and events business alongside teaching. But what the redundancy did then was it pushed me into, I don't think I ever would have left teaching. It wouldn't have been a conscious decision, but the redundancy then pushed me into putting more time and effort into my weddings and event business. And then obviously Forever helped to sort of bridge the gap, if you like, from what I lost with the income from being a teacher. I still teach one evening a week. I've got my own little drama class, which I was doing anyway. And you know what? That's enough for me. It's my passion. I'm enjoying doing the drama. I enjoy helping the children. But I think my sort of opinions almost changed of the whole teaching and the education sector after my redundancy. I thought maybe I'd have a little break and go back. But finding Forever just gave me that opportunity, like I said, to bridge the gap. And it's made me realise I don't need to go back. It's just worked really, really well for me alongside my wedding business.
Oh, that's brilliant. And it just shows how you can combine Forever around other things. And most people that work with us, are working around a full-time job. So, it's quite common to be combining it around another business. Or like Katy, tell us your story.
Gosh, I always feel funny telling mine because it's always a little bit complicated, isn't it? So like you guys, I was a teacher as well, and I wanted to have children, as lots of people do, and was told after many years of trying that we couldn't, or were very unlikely to. So we ended up adopting 2 children, and then I fell pregnant, and then I fell pregnant again. So I went from having no children to 4 children in 2.5 years. By which point I'd had. So by the time Freddie came along, I hadn't taught for 2.5 years because I stopped when we adopted the girls. And then sort of 6 months after that, a really good part-time teaching job came up at my old school. And it was just that right time. It was like I'd been out of teaching for 3 years. The kids were a little bit bigger. I'd lost me. I needed to be Mrs. Buxton again and have something outside. So I went back and, teaching and 4 children was just... I didn't know, excuse my language, but I didn't know my ass from my elbow half the time. I would get up in the morning. My husband works away a lot, so I'd end up dropping. So Freddie was only 9 months old when I went back. So one went to a childminder, another went to nursery, another went to reception at one school, and another one went to year 6 at another school. And then I was teaching by 9 o'clock in the morning, having dropped all these kids off at these various places. And then And then you're just on your feet all day rushing around. And then, of course, you dash out the door to do the exact same, but in the opposite order. Get them all home, fed, bath. Tom would walk in the door and I'd go, right, see ya. And then I'd be in here until midnight most nights working.
It's funny, because a lot of people go into teaching because it is such a flexible thing to go around children. But I guess, you know, when your kids are at school, they all start at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think the thing that teachers miss out on are those firsts. So it's not so hard maybe if your kids are in secondary school, but if you've got primary school aged kids, you don't make it to the nativities, you don't make it to the performances, you can't get time off for the assemblies or anything like that. So that is really tough to not be there when your child needs you there. But the holidays, obviously, you don't have to worry about childcare in the holidays, and that is a massive plus, because whilst all of us as teachers would say, gosh, you need those holidays because it's a full-on job. You know, and most of us work in the holidays. Like, I never had a holiday where I didn't do planning and prepping.
Well, Katy, you know, I know that.
Because you were married to a teacher, weren't you?
Yeah, Will and Rose's dad is a teacher. Yeah. So I've lived with one. I know, you know, how much he loves his job, because it is a passion. You go into teaching for a passion.
You don't go into it for money, that's for sure.
No, and you don't switch off. It's not like, that's it, I'm done.
People think, oh, you get all the holidays, but actually, you know, he was working in all the holidays, and it's not, you know, what people imagine, and you love those holidays as well.
And I think quite often you get to the Christmas holidays, and quite often teachers are ill as well, just like the kids are ill come Christmas. So Christmas holidays aren't really a holiday. Half terms were always catching up on all the stuff you hadn't been able to do.
Unless they're using aloe and supporting their immune.
Absolutely. Bee pollen all the
way. So, any of you, answer in whatever order really, what kind of took you into teaching, and how have those skills been transferable to your network marketing businesses?
Me, miss. We're all looking at each other, goes, who goes first? Who goes first? Do you know, for me, it was really simple. I had a corporate job before this, and I just felt like I wasn't, not that I wasn't being a good person, but that I needed to give something back, that I wanted to be in a career where you felt valued and you felt like you were doing something good. Yeah. And I also come from a long line of teachers. My parents and grandparents are teachers, so I think there's a little bit of it being in the blood there as well. So that is why I went into it. And I think, and I still, like Laura and Emma, there are elements of being a teacher that I miss every day. There are things that you get in a classroom with a room full of kids that you can't replicate that anywhere else. But the level of stress and the level of commitment and the lack of time, and that constantly having to choose between your children and other people's children, is a really tough choice.
Now I'm thinking, you know, I've never been a teacher, and for building my forever business, I've kind of had to learn to be a teacher, because it is very much what we do, whether you're teaching one-on-one or in a group. So when you say, you know, you like to feel valued, so Laura, does that transfer to how you feel and why you enjoy forever?
Yeah, I think so, because it's really rewarding knowing that you are helping somebody progress, no matter what sort of avenue that's in, whether that's in a classroom, and in my case, teaching drama, watching a child's confidence develop and their social skills, you know, all that sort of development. And then being a mentor with Forever, you're seeing exactly the same, really. You know, you've got some people who come to you because they are having problems, whether it be financial or whether they're looking for something new. They want a new challenge or a new opportunity. And then seeing that you've helped them progress and earn that extra income, and again, see them with their self-development through Forever.
It's funny you being a drama teacher, because, you know, for me coming into this industry, I was extremely shy. So actually, for me, it was a massive fear. And it took me 10 years for my mum to get me to join the company, because I knew, you know, she stood up, she talked about the products, and oh my God, absolutely filled me with fear. So part of my journey, if you like, getting to where I am now, I feel like I've been a bit of a drama teacher, because I've had to kind of what I call put on my mask and become someone else. So I would become the person that inspires me and be a bit of an actress and, you know, jump into their shoes. And soon that confidence comes within, doesn't it?
It does. And I think even, I don't know if girls will agree with me, as a teacher, sometimes you feel, right, you walk into that classroom, right, I put on my teacher hat now. And you kind of put on a front and it works. You do the job. It's the same with a business. You're in mentor mode, helping somebody. You put that cap on and off you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emma, how do you feel your skills are transferable into your forever business?
Well, definitely communication, because as a teacher, you're talking to kids, the students, the parents, other staff. So you've got that. But it's also about the passion. I think to be a good teacher, you've got to be passionate about your subject. And I found that because the products are so good, you have that passion about them. You know, you really have faith and trust in them. And that's quite similar in the teaching, I think. I think those are the two.
And for you are, well, what kind of teacher are you? So to share,
food and nutrition. So yeah, it is very passionate about it, and it has transferred for me. I now can bring it into the classroom and take it out of the classroom too. So it is transferable like that for me.
So the products are giving you that same passion as your job is giving you. I have to say, you know, Rosie is doing her GCSE with you, and she is totally passionate about food. And I think, you know, our passion comes from our teachers. And, you know, if I think of the subjects that I didn't like at school, it was actually because of the teacher.
That's every teacher's worst nightmare, don't you?
Yeah. So when you're doing this, you realize that you are the teacher and you're passing that passion on to the people that you're helping. So it is also, you know, in network marketing, making sure that you are working with someone that's got that same passion as you, finding someone that's like-minded.
Sorry, Nat. In. I was just thinking about one of the things that daunted me about joining Forever, and it was I haven't got time. But actually you have. It's those little pockets of time. And being a teacher also, that's one of those skills. You know, I've got half an hour to get this marking done or something like this. So it is those little bits that you can build around everything else you've got to make it work.
Yeah, it's interesting here. We've got a comment from Laura Rahana. So Laura's a personal trainer. So again, a different kind of teacher, but having that same passion of sharing those that teaching, really. So, you know, she's teaching you health and nutrition, but having that passion of helping other people. So anyone in any kind of, you know, teaching, it doesn't have to be a traditional school teacher, is going to have those same transferable skills. What about you?
I was just going to say, I think it's also one of the best things about being part of a network marketing business and doing what we're doing is that building a group of people around you that you want to help, that you enjoy helping, and seeing them grow and develop, seeing yourself grow and develop and change as well. Like, I think sometimes I have to be less of a teacher because I'm used to teaching teenage boys. And so actually the teaching teenage boys versus, you know, coaching, you know, women of our age is a totally, so that element, I think, is really fun.
For me, the people that are joining your team, they're wanting to do this. So they're wanting to show up. They're wanting to learn. So it's great working with those people that choose to be in your classroom, if you like.
That's the difference between year 7 and A level now.
Exactly. I can imagine that, knowing my son's just started his A levels. With comment here from Michelle Shipman. She's another teacher working alongside us, and she worked this along her full-time teaching and is now in Forever full-time as well. So question now for, well, whoever wants to answer it, really. You were obviously in teaching, so how did Forever come into your life? So Emma, we know for you that it came into your life through me because you came in through the products. But Katy, we haven't actually heard how it came in for you.
I did a C9 just like Emma, and had amazing results, but it did not occur to me. I was so wrapped up in everything I was doing with work and the kids, it didn't occur to me to even ask the person who sold it to me what it was that they did or anything like that. As far as I was concerned, I just had this great product.
It's actually, we've got a comment on the screen now from Lynn Christie, and Lynn Christie is a dance teacher. Her mother-in-law had been with the company for 10 years. she'd been using the products, but only since lockdown and her dance business, obviously not being able to operate in the same way, she actually saw the business behind it. So many people are customers that don't actually realise what an amazing business there is. So sorry.
No, that's all right. Well, because I was a poor teacher, as far as I was concerned, I then went to a very well-known high street brand and bought a cheap version of our products, which didn't really work. So then I went back to the person who sold me the clean, and I went, yeah, yours are better. And then I just had one of those moments. I can tell you the day, if I wish I could remember the date. Harry, my firstborn, third child, was 3. And he asked me to read him a story one night. And I said I was too busy and I had too much marking to do. And he had to go to bed really well. And he was 3. And it takes, 10 minutes to read a 3-year-old a story. And that, for me, that was one of those proper Tom and Jerry moments, where you've got the angel and the devil. And it was... And I will never forget that feeling. And that was when I went, I can't do this anymore. What else am I going to do? And literally saw the girl who'd sold me the Clean 9 the following day in the playground when I dropped the kids off and went, that thing that you sold me, what is it that you do? Can I do that? It was like this whole roller coaster from that light bulb moment on. It was like, I've got to do something different. I can't have to choose between reading a 3-year-old a bedtime story and doing some marking.
It's so funny, it's like that thinking, if you're buying a white car, a white Mercedes, whatever it is, suddenly you see that white Mercedes everywhere. And that's how network marketing works as well. We are never going to convince anyone to do this industry. It's about when the person is at a time in their life where they're looking for change, and actually they remember that this is something that they could do. And it's a bit of a lifeboat, really. Taking someone from A to B, but showing them the way and helping them show up, which I guess, Laura, was a little bit like you. You were being made redundant and...
Yeah, well, what happened actually was I just sort of started with Forever. Like you said, the redundancy had come up. But in the meantime, I picked up a full-time job. It was retail. I think my confidence had been knocked a little bit and I wasn't ready to go back to school as a teacher. So I picked up a job working full-time, as well as doing the wedding business, teaching 1 evening a week, 2 little boys. And then, like you were saying then, I just thought one day, I can't carry on like this. I had no time for my own children. I was rushing off to do an evening class to teach other people's children, working in the days, dropping them to crash and school, and something had to give. And now, to answer the question that was on the screen then, what attracted me, as that sort of development and progression grew within my personal life and my personal situation, I saw the potential that Forever had. And it made me realise that, I can work full-time. I can work a great income, but I can do it from home. I can do it to suit me, my family, and be there for the kids. So now I could be the one to take them to school and pick them up and not have, a family member or childminder to do that for me. So it happened at exactly the right time for me personally.
Again, a lot of people will find this industry when it is that time and you're not necessarily looking, but something is finding you. And I believe, fate is a massive, massive part of our lives as well. So we've got another question here from Claire. So how do you balance teaching and your Forever business and having a family? How much time do you actually need? So I guess this one really is for you, Emma, but also you, Laura, because you're running another business as well, rather than myself and Katy that are full-time in Forever, which is not full-time hours. But
it's kind of what I said earlier, actually. It's those small pockets of time and actually carving some of the time out. Although, like Katy was saying about the light bulb moment with their little 3-year-old, I had it with Albert, my son, the other day, because he said something, "Oh, Mummy, you're doing your work while we're homeschooling." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing the Forever bit." And he was like, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Well, do you want to go on holiday? Or do you want to have 3 scoops of ice cream?" And he was like, "Oh, right, okay, you get on, I'm going to do mine." So I suppose it is a juggle, but the more there's lots of resources there for you to use when you want to. We're lucky that a lot of it is online now. So I know that when the kids have gone to bed, I can spend an hour doing my training, or if they are having their lunch, I can hop on one of the power hours. So really,
it's funny, really, Emma, you saying that is making me laugh, because last night I actually went out of the house for a meeting, which is the first time in, well, it's nearly a year now, isn't it, since lockdown. So my kids are used to me traditionally going out in the evening, doing people's business launches, going out and seeing people. And we've had to take this whole business online. It's been an absolute blessing for our industry because we can literally do everything from home. So the kids are used to me, you know, doing this in the evening but actually being physically in the house. And I said to Phoebe, my youngest, who's 3, Mummy's got to go out to a meeting. I was actually going to see my accountant. And she went, but Mummy, you mean you're going to a real meeting for real work? Because Mummy hasn't been doing real work. In and out. And it's okay for her to be honest with you, because most people that I work with tend to be mums. So having the kids in the background has been fine. So it literally really made me giggle at what we're showing our kids as well. So let's end on that really. You know, what do you think you are teaching your kids by being part of the network marketing industry? Put your hand up, speak first.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
But
Laura.
I do find that my children probably do this business with their eyes closed now. They even selling the products for me.
Mine do.
Well, we've got Emma in the business through my children.
Exactly. You're teaching them, obviously, they know about the products and it's that easy. It's just chatting to people, mentioning a product, and that's, you know, where the retail side of the business can come in. It's so easy, the children can do it, but it's also teaching them that they can choose their future. You know, they've got flexibility. There are different job opportunities out there to the norm, if you like. So there's no set path for the future, I don't think. And I think people say you have to have a certain job, whether it be corporate or, you know, set avenue, but it's not. There's so much opportunity out there and flexibility, and they can do that alongside a passion as well. So, you know, like I obviously have got my passion now about the drama, which I'm still doing, but then I'm still earning another income through network marketing. And the kids value that. They really, really do, because it's flexible and I'm there for them. And
absolutely.
That was my goal from day one. And that's what I've been able to achieve. Giving up those full-time 9-to-5 jobs. And, you know, I'm here at home most of the time, pop out for an hour or so. But so you're teaching them the value, the work ethic that sometimes you need to go out and do a couple of hours work, but that's the brilliant thing with Forever. It is a couple of hours work and then you're back home.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other comments, Katie or Emma?
I think, do you know what, it's a really interesting question. And actually Harry, my number 3, did a really good example of this just tonight. He decided that we were going to have an auction. And I said, how are we having an auction, Harry? And he said, well, have you got things you don't want that you can add to my auction and then we'll all bid for it? So we had to sit down as a family, and my son auctioned off various bits and bobs from around the house. And I thought, where on earth has he got this from? And the kids then sat down and they worked out that they were going to have 10% of the profit, and and it was fascinating to watch because he's only 9 and his little brother's only 7. And I think there's a real entrepreneurial spirit coming through. Like whenever we have like a street closure day, they want to sell ice creams that I have to make for them, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And they were chatting to our neighbours on the doorstep, and they said, "Oh, Laura, can we do an auction with you tomorrow?" So they're discussing how they're going to do an auction over the fence. So there's a definite understanding that there is, if you put some effort in, there is a way to make money that doesn't have to be a quote unquote job.
Yeah,
that you go out to. And the other thing I think they've learned is that actually there's balance, because my husband works really, really long hours, and up until lockdown was away a lot, and even in lockdown has basically been sat in this room for 12 hours a day. And so they know that because of mummy's job, they haven't had to go to school in lockdown, and that mummy has been able to teach them because mummy's job is different. So
I think you do, you know, teach your kids a great work ethic. And, you know, I know that with both my son and my daughters, they're 15 and 16, and they both find ways to make extra money. Will's obviously really excited that he's going to be driving at age 17. So that's coming up very soon.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously I could buy him a car outright, but that doesn't teach kids anything. So actually Will has been earning money and working out how much he needs for the car, how much his car insurance is, and it teaches a massive work ethic when they've seen you create these goals and go and hit them. So, you know, that's what I teach my kids, is to have that goal and work out how you're going to do it. So, ladies, we've got one last question here from Ellen. What top tips do you have to help people build their confidence? This is a really good one, actually. We've got to be really quick because we are running over a little bit. But what top tips would you say to help confidence with building a business with us?
I think we could all do the Bob Parker quote, couldn't we? All of us, every single one of us could say in unison, step out of your comfort zone every single day.
Yeah. Totally. And it is doing something different. And you know what? I look at you guys, and I've got a lot of friends that are teachers, and I used to think, oh my word, I could never stand in front of a group of people and be able to talk. It's my biggest fear, whether it's kids or adults. But the great thing about this industry is you've got people wanting to help you, support you, and to, you know, celebrate your wins as well. And, you know, personal development is just absolutely huge in the industry. So, ladies, I want to thank you for being part of this evening's Nats Natter. I'm proud to be working alongside you all. And, you know, so many qualities from teaching you've brought into our team, which is just incredible to see. And I know that there's so much more to come as well. So thank you to all of our listeners. And remember, if you are a business owner that is looking to maybe expand, share your story, then I would love to hear from you and how, you know, you've had to adjust to the challenges that have gone on and to be able to grow your business. And one of those tonight was obviously on our VIP event, because they were cocktail company, so liquid spirits, and you know, they were normally out in events, and now they're doing online Zoom events showing us how to mix our cocktails, which is just a great example. So thanks everyone for listening in, and I look forward to hearing from you very, very soon. If you have got any questions, then please, you know, follow us, ask us any questions, and we will get back to you. You've got everyone's names here, so get in touch. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.